can I get hired back to my former federal job? And what happens if I get hired back? And stick around for the rub, the real surprise gotcha.
I love a good gotcha moment. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the CD Financial Podcast, CD Financial, where health meets wealth. I'm Marcus C., your host. That man across from me, as always, is Chuck D. Chuck, my man, how you doing?
Marcus, I was shaking it off this morning. I was walking down at the beach. I was actually in it's called, I think, T Street El Portal is the road where it stairs drop steep down to San Clemente. And I wore my swim trunks because I said maybe there's been some tidal pools, so I walked in them and sloshed around, and it didn't matter. I got my shorts wet. And I came back and I saw some guy I'd seen before I started talking to him. Because I said, "Hey, you're the dude with the Scully cap," and he started. Oh, he was windy. So I was like, I'm still, in my mode. So I was like, "Oh yeah, that's really interesting." I took off my t-shirt and I said, "I'm going in." I went swimming, but it was cold. Yeah. It hadn't been cold for like a week and a half, but it turned cold and it felt much better on the body, actually cold.
Excellent. Yeah, you feel.
That's what I'm doing. I was walking like this, trying to stretch my shoulders out because they get tight too from doing push-ups and stuff. And taking Isaac to the gym, working out.
Very nice.
Yeah.
It's good to hear. How's he doing with his workouts?
Good. So Brother Jude got him going Wednesday, Friday. If he works Wednesday, Friday, I cannot take him on Sundays. But if he just works him out Wednesday, then I can take him Sunday. 3 times a week is just a little too much for him right now.
Yeah.
But Wednesday, Sunday, I wanted to track that for like 2 months. And then Jude can add Fridays. We'll see. Jude's going anyway because he's 23 and he's a bull tiger. So
yeah.
He pumps a little bit at the gym and all of a sudden, right? And I pump a little at the gym and all I do is get sore in my lats right behind my armpit. And I mean, sore. I'm going to go see the Thai masseuse tonight and she's brutal. All of her 103 pounds and she just gets on it. And I'm just like, oh.
Those Thai massage therapists are great. By the way, that should be a health tip at some point if we haven't ever done that. Go see a Thai massage therapist.
We've done it.
Have we done that? I mean, that is
tissue. Yeah, we could talk about it again. Let's make that our health tip for the day. Let's get to our listeners here and our viewers.
So you had a gotcha moment. We're not getting to the gotcha moment just yet, right? We'll save that. A little surprise at the end. Hopefully, it doesn't make you jump out of your chair. The point is, we're talking about people who took the DRP, right? And now the opportunity is for them to get rehired. Is that what's going on?
Yep. Or maybe you just retired and there's an opportunity to get rehired, right?
All right. Yeah. So, okay. So maybe the first question is, why would I want to? We'll start with that before we get into the hows and whys. Why would I want to?
Well, hold on, Tiger. Hold on. You're out of sequence. We're doing that after. So let's talk about it. Can you get rehired back to your federal position? Okay. And what happens if you do? So let's talk about, can you get rehired back? Okay. Yes, you can get hired back. Okay. So I have a friend and most of my clients are friends. And if they're not, then usually they're not as good of a relationship. So we want to draw people to us like us. So when I say I have a friend, I'm usually talking about a client family, but she is a friend. So anyway, she works for Treasury down in San Diego. She's cool. She's super cool. Anyway, our clients are super cool. Honestly, we attract like-minded individuals. So she'd only been at Treasury for I'm going to say 2 years, and she really likes her job. But she's got a job offer from her former boss at the Navy. And she's like, Charles, I'm thinking I'm going to take this job offer. She goes, the job market's really tight right now, she said. Yeah. And I think this is something I really should do. And so that's something we started discussing. And I was like, oh boy, I go, this is really a subject for the podcast and for the 3 months, the 3 minutes on a Tuesday. So this is how it works. It caused me to dive into it. And I said, I'm going to get back to you. Okay, so let me tell you about the dive into it. You would qualify for what's called a supplemental annuity if you work for at least 1 year.
Okay.
But it's a redetermined annuity. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me not get the cart before the horse. First, you get a supplemental annuity if you make at least 1 year. Okay, so what's 1 year? It's 1% of whatever you worked for in that little time period. Okay, so let's say you work for, I'm going to confuse myself. Let's say, no, I won't. Let's say you worked for 2 years.
Yeah.
And you made 100,000 and then 104,000. So that 2-year period, they're going to give you 1% for each year. So 2 years is 2% of your average salary in those 2 years. You haven't worked for 3 years, so there's no high three.
Right.
So in that period of time, it would be 100,000 and 104. Your average is 102, and you'll get 2% of 102. And so you get, I should have picked 98,000 and 102,000. So
It's all right. You just got to add $100.
once you get, so 102, you'll get 2,040 dollars, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. $2,040. Yeah. So that's what you get. Now, if you work for 5 years or more, rehired, they will do what's called a redetermined annuity or pension. Okay, when we say annuity, that's what the Fed OPM refers to as your pension. But if you get 5 years, guess what they're going to do?
Are they going to bump it up?
Well, if your last 5 years or more here was higher than when you retired, what they'll do is they'll recalculate the entire pension.
Wow.
So if you had a high 3 of, let's say, 100,000 with 20 years of service, and you went out at, I don't know, 57, okay, and now your high 3 is 120,000, right? Well, before you did 20 years. 20 years times a high 3 of 100,000 was 20 grand a year, divided by 12 months. But now 120,000 times 20 years is now 24,000. So because of the high 3 increase, I'm saying supposedly, let's say supposed, for illustrative purposes, okay? Tomato. Yeah, 120,000 high 3 now would recalculate your whole 20 years plus your other 5 years of service. So maybe that's going to get you another, well, it's 25 years, so it's 25% of 120. So now it would be what? Going from 20,000, bumping up by 20 grand on your high 3. Now you're at 30,000 a year.
Yeah.
It'll recalculate everything, but you got to do 5 more years. Okay. And if you make it to 62, now you would make it to 62. I do believe that would qualify you for a 10% bonus as well. So that'll be 33,000. Wow. That's a big jump. You already jumped 50% from a $20,000 pension. Yep. I don't know if you're able to track all those numbers. You can keep replaying. Rewind, right?
Fairly well. The good thing is you used 100,000 to start because that makes it easier to do the math in our head as we follow along. But,
yeah. Okay, so that's called a supplement annuity. And then if you do 5 years or more and you're rehired, that's a redetermined pension or redetermined annuity. Now, Marcus, do you have a question for me?
So what's the rub then? Are there any catches?
I'm glad you asked. There's a big catch here. Okay, a big one. All right. Let's say you're a VA doctor and you make $350,000 a year, but your pension is $100,000 a year. Okay. Mm-hmm. They're not going to pay you $350. They're only going to pay you $250. They're going to take off the pension amount from your new rehired position of $350, and they're going to pay you $250 because your pension's $100,000. So, okay. Oh, and any of you, any VA employees or VA doctors, just click on the link right here. We got an episode made just for you, for doctors at the VA, or click here. I don't know if it's going to be on the left side or the right side, but you'll see it. You'll see that icon pop up. I think Gio likes the left side. Okay. And let's say you get rehired at $100,000 and your pension's $25,000 a year. Are they going to pay you 100,000?
I
Did
don't
you do
think
the
so.
math, Marcus? No, 100,000 you make on your new pay, and your pension's 25,000. So how much are they going to pay you?
Good question.
75. They're
Huh.
subtracting the pension amount from
Okay.
your salary. So if you make 100,000 now, but your pension's 25,000, they're going to subtract it from your new salary, and they're only going to pay you 75. So that's the rub. It would be nice if you were like, oh, check it out. I've got my pension I can keep,
Yeah.
and I get my new federal job also. Nah, nah, nah.
Yeah. So
No,
no double
no,
dipping, in
no.
other words.
Do what? No
No
double
double
dip.
dipping. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, there's another catch though.
What's the other catch?
The catch is if you are a dual waiver employee, hired back,
Okay.
then what? How that would work? And I want to get this right. Is they're going to waive that. Um, they're going to waive that reduction in your hire back. And with the new administration, I would say it's rare to have a dual waiver where they will not reduce your pay by your pension. But I would say nothing's off the table,
Hmm.
right? In the current climate, I'd like to see what happens here. Okay, there's a special RTM where there's no reduction, like we're talking about, no reduction of or subtraction of your salary because you're collecting a federal pension. There's an offer right now to ICE, former ICE employees, a
Hmm.
return to mission. Okay, it's called an RTM. That's the
Right.
acronym. And you know at the Fed, there's acronyms flying around all
They
the time.
love them some acronyms. Yes.
They love, yes. Okay, so they're saying no, no, no. Let's say we bring you back as an ICE agent and you're making 150,000, and let's say
Okay.
your pension was, I don't know, let's say it was 50,000. Okay, we're not going to subtract that 50 grand from your 150 hire back. So you're going to make all of that money, plus you get to collect your pension. That could be pretty attractive.
Yeah.
That could be pretty attractive. Plus, right now there's a signing bonus for them for just the ICE employees of 10 grand. There's a cutoff time limit, and then there might be another 10 grand once you're in the agency every 3 years on your anniversary. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna
So
say,
so potentially 20,000. I mean, when you add it up, right, for the
yep.
sign bonus plus your. We just said you can't double dip in other accounts, but for ICE agents in particular, you're
Well,
able
we'll
to.
see. Yeah, we'll see what
It
happens to them,
seems that
right?
way, right?
But if you could get a dual waiver, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. Forget about the bonuses. Let's just talk about that dual waiver. If they
Okay.
give you, if your agency is offering employment and they're saying, hey, we're going to hire you back, and we've got a dual waiver here where you don't have to, they were rare in the past, but as I said before, we're already seeing it at one agency. Who knows? They're restructuring all the agencies right now to see what it looks like, and they very well may be hiring back. Hot
Interesting.
stuff.
Interesting.
So,
So,
Marcus, do you
yes,
have
sir.
a question for me?
I still have a lot of questions for you. So, okay, so we went over the why would I want to do that. I think the numbers speak for themselves, right? I mean, if, I'm not going to ask that again because the money is there. And for some individuals, and we've discussed this on other episodes, right? Um, they want to go back. They didn't want to stop working. And for them, maybe this is a great opportunity to just cash in on that desire, right?
Yeah.
So, so what happens now? I mean, I guess we've kind of gone through some of that, but
Why? Well, we're still got a lot of the why, actually,
you want to
right?
hit more of the why? Sure.
Yeah, yeah. And before we do that, by the way, uh, there's a 3 month that we're going to do just on that hire back for
Hmm.
ICE agents. Go ahead. Ooh, click here, my left hand. Click here to go to that the one for the ICE agents for the hire back at the RTM. What was that return to mission? Okay. So why would you go back? Let's talk about the money part we covered already, right? The job market being tight. And my friend down in San Diego, let's call her Susie Q because the names have been changed to protect the innocent. Susie Q, right? I know what you're thinking. Oh, Susie Q. Boom, 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 boom. Susie Q. Oh, he's a big time classic rock.
So
Baby, I love you.
everybody's alternate name will be a classic rock reference here.
Susie Q. My wife's like, "Is that all you listen to?" I'm like, "Come on, honey. I listen to classic jazz. I listen to what is that station on Alexa? I don't want to say her name out loud because she'll hear
Yeah,
me. Right?
she's
Yeah.
listening. Yeah.
Adult alternative is what I ask for a lot of times. Yeah, folk. Yeah.
Oh,
What's the guy that you like to Nathan Ratcliffe?
Nathaniel Ratliff. Yeah.
Nathaniel. I call him Nate. Yeah.
Well, you and him go way back. So
All right. So why would you go back to the Fed?
why?
Let's
Yeah.
see. Let's see. Why would you go back to your old job, even your old position? Because Susie Q wasn't. She was going from Treasury to Navy, where she worked for a long time, but she preferred the job at Treasury, less pressure. But why would you go back to your old job? The job market, she told me, was tight. Right? She said, Charles, it's not easy out there. You're bored. You've been on administrative leave, and you're like, this is not what it was cracked up to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, I don't know, you're not ready to retire yet, and you say, I thought I was, but I realized that this is not what I thought it was going to be, and Charles, I'm still pretty young. I've had a few folks tell me that they say, I don't think I'm ready for this. Now there's others in the mid 60s that have told me I'm good. I'm good, Charles. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. If you want a link to things to do in retirement, then click right here. There's a link of another podcast we've done that will get all into it and give you ideas to keep you vibrant, to keep you socially connected, and to keep you away from your eventual demise. Because an object in motion tends to stay in motion. Yeah. So I like that too.
We've discussed that law too, that principle. So good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you learned. We're learning physics. We're learning finance. We're learning all sorts of classic rock. I mean, there's all sorts of knowledge that's being bandied about here today.
This pop up came up on my Facebook, and it said, "Look, Steve Martin imitates David Lee Roth, Diamond Dave," and it. I thought it was Steve Martin. He had like a nose thing done,
Yeah.
like a what was that French
Cyrano
player?
de Bergerac.
Cyrano. I thought it was like Steve Martin when he did the Cyrano thing. I thought he had a nose piece on. It turns out it wasn't Steve Martin at all. It was Diamond Dave. He just looks like Steve Martin. And he was doing this little boogie thing. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So anyway, I don't know. I was like, why did that pop up? But it was cool. They know who you are. They're listening. Always watching.
Always watching, always listening.
So folks, if you're gonna consider this, it looks like there might be some offers out there. And a RTD, is that what we called it?
Return, yeah. No.
Return to mission, RTM.
RTM, yeah, return to mission.
Return to mission. Yeah, the RTM, return to mission. If that's offered to you, there's absolutely no reduction, but no going in. If there is a if there is a higher back and they don't offer you the RTM, then you're at a dual waiver. You're probably not going to be excluded from that reduction, right? Whatever your pension is, they're going to reduce it from your new salary. But to you, it might be like 6 and 1/2 dozen the other, right? And if you do 5 more years, they're going to recalculate your high 3. Hopefully, you get hired back at a higher pay grade.
Yep.
We'll wait and see how it all unfolds.
That's it's good news. It's good something to think about. And again, for a lot of people, like you were just saying, that maybe we're forced into it in their 50s, and they're like, I got a good 10, 15 years ahead of me before I really want to just be done with it. Then this is a great opportunity, I think, for a lot of them.
Oh yeah, yeah. Even another 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, even another 3 or 4 years is, just to get your, you dipped into it, and now that whole time you're back to work, your body's gonna process that, and your mind, your heart, soul, and you're gonna be marinating on the whole idea, and you're gonna have a lot better approach to it.
Yep.
Honestly, I think so. Yeah.
Right. So,
and don't forget, that was what was it? It was to recalculate on your on your pension, right? If you just do a couple years, it's just going to do that recalculation, that supplement annuity, and it'll add to your already collecting annuity. Unless you do 5 years or more, then it's called a redetermined annuity,
Hmm.
right? And they'll recalculate, searching for the high three, and looking to see if it's done anymore. And they're still going to add those 5 years of service to your pension, or whatever
Excellent.
years you do on the rehire.
Very nice.
Cool.
Very nice. Yeah, bump up that pension, baby. So
Yes.
are you ready for a health tip for today?
Yeah. What did we say we were going to talk about? Because we were
Thai
talking about.
massage.
Oh,
And
that's
yeah, so I
good.
know, I mean, we've talked about the importance of massage. My wife's a massage therapist, right? Not a masseuse, massage therapist, to be clear. Um, but even she always recommends the Thai massage. That's the one, for those who are not familiar with that, they walk on your back. They will literally walk on your back and use their feet to get that real deep tissue. But I think the biggest benefit for me, and you can comment on this too, Chuck, um, the stretching at the very end, they will take you and turn you into a pretzel in the best possible way. And if you have, tight muscles, they will work that out. And no matter how flexible I am, by the way, I can reach my hands behind my back and touch, grab them together. And I have always prided myself on being flexible. And yet, whenever I go, they always tell me the same thing. Ooh, you're tight. It's like,
Tell me the same thing.
what do you want from me? I can nearly put my leg behind my head, but yeah, I love that whole stretch out at the end. I mean, that to me, that makes it.
That blows me away. When she starts, like tonight, she'll start, and I'll be like,
Yeah,
the body will not do that. I'm thinking, right? While she's doing it. And I know she's done it before and it's happened, but every time I do it, but I'm like, you're crazy. And I'm thinking in my head, you're crazy. What are you doing to me? But and no matter how many times I get it done, like, oh God, I've had Thai massage done at least 13, 15 times. And
yeah,
I'm like, what are you doing? And nonetheless, it continues to work, and she continues to bend me like a pretzel, like Marcus said. I mean,
yeah,
they bend you, right? And you think going in there, a little Asian lady, how much force is she going to have? Watch out, folks.
yeah.
Watch out. I mean, they're ranging anywhere from 95 to about 100 and maybe 19 top end, right? And usually they're dancing in the 100 to 107. And but because they use their feet like hands, they
Hmm.
work all that weight right on top of your back, and then they use their elbows when they're not walking on you. Oh, they
Knees,
roll up my
elbows.
shoulders because I've
Yep.
been working out again in the gym, and oh man, it's like whoa. But you know what? Like my former Romanian masseuse said, the way to treat pain is through pain. Okay,
I don't
and
know if I
she's
believe
right.
that, but
Oh, yeah, she's right because you get into that pain and release it, and
yeah,
then go take a bath with hot apple cider, a hot bath with apple cider vinegar, 8 to 12 ounces. Telling you,
I will tell you this, because you're talking about the weight of the typical, and the Thai people are not big, so typically smaller. Um, I'm 6 foot 220, and I've had a Thai massage therapist is probably half my weight, sink her knees into my lower back and grab my arms and bend me back. And yeah. You would think she couldn't do this to me, right? And yet she does. And in the moment, you're like, oh my God, she's gonna split me in half. But afterwards, boy, you come out of there feeling so good, all
yes.
stretched.
All right. Thank you for the health tip today.
Yeah. If you've never
Those
experienced it, go
honestly,
do it. Go do it.
yeah, they recommend monthly. I know when I went out to Two Bunch Palms, we try to
Mhm.
go out there once a year for their mineral waters, and when I get a massage out there, she'd always say, "How often has it been?" I go, "Like a year ago." Right now, it's part of my lifestyle,
That's
but
good.
yeah, she's like, "Oh no, you need to go once a month." So now I am maybe even more frequently, but I'm hitting about 13 to 15 times a year, and that's where I want to be, like every 3 weeks, honestly. But we'll see.
All right. Since
Yeah.
as soon as we log off here, I'm setting up an appointment because I need one. It's
Stay
time.
strong.
It's
Stay
time.
strong and stay loose, folks. You'll get those toxins out of your limbs and your joints, and you won't have to get knee replacements and shoulder and hip replacements because you're going to keep digging in and releasing those toxins that used to release automatically when you were young, but now that we've aged, they don't release.
Yeah.
So this is how you get them to release. You have a helper. You have the helper to let you release.
Yeah. And as long as we're discussing helpers, CD Financial, right? This is what we're here for. We are here for you. So click that link below. Set up that consultation. Right. We also have the number. You want to give us the number, Chuck, real
Sure.
quick?
Yeah, you text your name and your email, your first and last name and your email to 949-359-5100. That's 359-5100, and we'll give you a 15-minute phone call. We always do. Yep.
Yeah.
It's up to you. You text us out and we'll help you out. We're here.
Yeah, and in regards to what we discussed today, I mean, things are changing so quick. Get someone on your side as soon as you can to help you guide you through these times. Obviously, on these little podcasts, we can't get into everything that you need to, but that's why you need to set up that appointment, get that consultation. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in today. CD Financial Podcast, CD Financial, where health meets wealth. I'm Marcus C., your host. That man is Chuck D. As always, we appreciate your time. Thanks for being here with us.
We'll talk to you soon, folks.